recognitions. Do we have any?
Don't have any this month.
No, okay.
We'll get back to it next month.
All right. We need to approve or amend the agenda. Need a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? 7-0. To approve the agenda. And do we have any public comment, Tammy?
None.
Thank you. Approval of the consent agenda, I need a motion for that covers the minutes, bills, and substitute teacher list.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
No second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Financial programs evaluation.
You have the 2017-18 budget book in front of you. And basically, it's just a rundown of where we ended up last year and the budget for this year. The big highlights are what I did was same as last year, is what Mr. McCracken had done. I broke it down into basically the introduction tells you what the book is for, and then the unique features of our budget this year, and they're no different than the unique features from last year, except for we don't have $4 million to spend in capital, in the capital area. So that's about the only difference. Everything remains the same. As we just said, the operating levy and the levy levies remain the same. Both levies remain the same. So it's not real different. And then when you get in, debt service does not change. Those are the same.
And our 5-year totals of enrollment.
5 years totals of enrollment is, we ended the year at 1322 last year, and hopefully we will get back to that number this year. And again, if you look at, right now we are not there yet, but I think those numbers were, it should jump after we come back from Labor Day, because all school districts, including East Newton, tend to have a jump after Labor Day because people come back off vacation and just skip the first 2 weeks of school. Happens everywhere.
No, I've never done that.
Some people do.
I didn't really know there was an option.
Still working on parents are still working on the schedule from the 70s and 80s.
Any questions on that?
Revenue sources, if you look, we are very heavily state funded. Most of our revenues come from the state. So if you get to that chart, that tells you where the money's coming from. And then the percentage, 54% of our revenue comes from the state.
What's that?
What's that noise?
Somebody's shutting the door out here.
Oh, must stick. That's fine.
That's somebody throwing a ball against the building. And then at the end, we have the calendar.
Yep, the calendar's at the very end. And we will approve this here in a little while. This is just a discussion to look at. We'll approve it when we get to new business.
Okay.
Any questions? Or?
Please spend more time looking at it.
Tammy and I decided that a whole lot of work went into this, so please look at it for a couple minutes.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very much.
So we'll come back to that if you're ready to move on.
We need to accept it.
Accept the evaluation.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna do it in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, sorry.
We lost exactly $1 million between 08 and now. No, between, 17 and 18.
And that'll be
Of course,
with,
that's projected, right?
right, that's projected.
Where are we gonna approve this?
In
the budget.
In the budget, yeah.
Okay. All right, so we have a superintendent report.
I changed it up a little bit this time and added some things underneath the superintendent's report, because usually it used to be just reports, but I wanted to have an opportunity to give you a couple of things that are going on, just to keep abreast of what's going on. So Some of the things that have happened, we had the flood at the high school, and then had some issues at Granby in the second grade hall with some mold. And I'll let Rusty talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I think the second grade hall, ended up, what that happened there was carpets weren't dry as good as they should have been whenever they were in, or didn't get dry. They thought they'd had them dried. Some build up over that time, because once they do the room, they shut the doors and they're done. Someone came in, seen it, so we cleaned it. Just want to take precautionary actions with that in the library, and went ahead and had the air sampled. So everything turned out fine. We're in good shape.
So we're trying to be proactive about those folks who say that we have mold issues. Like we decided to go ahead and test it, and it came out with on the low end of the acceptable, the low end of the
Normal, yeah.
normal. So it's actually lower than what they would call normal. So
How's high school library look?
Great.
Now, they got flooded?
Yeah.
What happened?
The faucet line came off, and
that's one of the emails I sent that you didn't get.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good.
I got it.
It's all good.
Okay.
it's very fortunate.
And we have new
that it
carpet.
happened during the
Because of the
day.
insurance.
Really, what it came down to was the projected cleanup was over $7,000, and to replace it all with our with insurance and meeting the deductible was $1,000. So we went the $1,000 route and got brand new carpet. So
A question on like the moisture at Granby, over there at Crowder in the tech building, well, I think in all buildings, they shut the air down for the summer.
Yeah, we try not to do that.
Huh?
We try not to do that.
Well, I was wondering if it was or not, I mean, was that not able to pull that humidity out of it?
Oh, I mean, I guess there's more than one school of thought on how low you should put it,
Yeah,
how high you should have it. We try to keep them at 72 degrees. We try to keep them at.
right. Okay, that's fair.
So, but the other thing that plays in there is your economizers, your outside air.
Mhm.
The humidity we've had this summer.
Yeah, true,
That played a lot to do with it also.
yeah. Okay.
enrollment report. This is what we have day one, which was Tuesday. We had 1,309 today, 1,302, and those are actual physical bodies in the classroom right now. That number will go up. It'll go up because that's attendance numbers. That's actual
It's not,
attendance
it
numbers.
doesn't count the sick people.
No, doesn't count the sick people. It doesn't count the people who that are enrolled that aren't here. If you look at our actual number, we have 1,380 some students enrolled, and only 1,302 were here today. So, and part of that's probably because some of them haven't been moved out of the system just yet, or the system hasn't updated. But that I fully expect the number to go up. Hope it goes up.
Mhm.
So, but we're right at the same spot we were last year at this time.
Oh, well, okay.
Yep, right at the, we started last year with 1,304 on the first day. And then by the end of week 2, we were up to 1,330 something.
Is that pretty consistent with each building from last year?
Yes, yes. I think the high school's a little bit lower. Triway is higher, and Granby's were almost right on where it was last year. So,
And we ended at 1,332?
yeah,
Okay.
1,332 last year. And that was enrolled, and with average daily attendance being somewhere around 1,280 something. So, summer school ADA came out to about 52.4, which I'm not exactly sure exactly what that means at this point, but it was about 6 below what we ended up with last summer.
So how much revenue does that add to our budget when you talk about the ADA?
The ADA, it differs. We haven't gotten it all yet, and I'm not exactly sure how much it added this year.
Okay.
That's something I can get that to you. I just gotta learn exactly how to figure it.
Do you remember last year, Tammy?
Mm-mm.
No.
Last year's ADA was 60,
It was 8 more, it was about 8 more.
yeah, it was about 8 more per day. So, and you look at the total hours is what they look at. It's not actually bodies, it's hours.
Okay.
You should have, I sent out superintendent's evaluation. Basically, you charged me with the task of coming up with the evaluation within the first 30 days. And the superintendent's evaluation, we use the DESI model, which is what's in our policy, the DESI model. If you look at the DESI superintendent's evaluation. It's about 100, the document's about 100 pages long.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of different strands and a bunch of different things, but you should have a little circular thing on the second page. Basically, it's a improvement and a evaluation tool. So you do, and it's the circular thing's a constant improvement thing, is what that means. So what it is it's a constant evaluation of the superintendent and the position. So you keep looking at the different stages, and what DESE recommends is you focus on 3 things, 2 to 3 things, and make them as measurable as possible. So what I did was I put on there the goal, which I'd already spoke to you about before, becoming the premier district in Southwest Missouri. That's our thrust. That's my main thrust. And then to do that, the 2 things I had to do that was culture, building establish and evaluate high expectations for building leaders who will still do the same for the teachers, and then increase MAP scores from 2 to 5%. So that's what I have. Your homework is to go home and decide if there's one more thing that you want to add. Does that make sense?
We don't have to though.
You don't have to. You can't. That's what you have to decide. Do we want to? And remember, you want 2 to 3 things. There's 2 here. I left 1 for you all. This is what I recommend you evaluate me on, and we can vote on that next month. So.
Thank you.
Thanks
You
for
bet.
doing that.
Yeah.
You bet. So really what it comes down to is in December, we'll vote on it next month at the next board meeting. We'll vote on that whatever you want to approve is the evaluation tool, and then I'll walk you through how to do that.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's see, I put on there budget revision is forthcoming. We do have our taxes changed, but I didn't want to do it this month. I want to wait a couple more months to make sure that everything's there. Normally, you've done a budget revision in the past in August, right after the tax hearing, but I wanted to wait another month or 2 before I gave you the real revision. And that's not for you, that's for me. Yeah, so the budget revision will just basically reflect the change in proposed budget of how much taxes we thought were coming in and how much really is projected to get. And remember, that's all projected. This is how it works. We project this on the budget. When you build the budget, you project this is how much you think you're going to get, and then you do the tax hearing, and then that projects how much you think you're going to get, and then in reality, it's something different. Okay, that's the superintendent's report. Any
Thank you.
questions? The enrollment report. So the cash flow.
This financial report?
This is financial report. Yep. Cash flow. We're right about where we normally are in cash flow. The all funds for the end of July was $2,542,000, and that's right about our normal. Our cash flow at the beginning of the year, it was basically coming off the ASBR, which we just approved, was our general fund, which is just whatever we can spend it on, was 1.86 million. So 1.8 million, which is healthy. That's healthy. Revenue. This is a big surprise. We are actually up. In the last few years, last year, most months we were down revenue, but this month we're up revenue, so we actually got in more money than we spent last month.
Good.
Hadn't happened in a while. That was good. So the Prop C fund, Prop C goes up and down. That is our gaming money. So the gambling money that we get, and the way the gambling money works is we get the higher assessed valuation, the lower your Prop C money, and the lower your assessed valuation, the higher. It's trying to offset it. So even though we don't have a whole lot of industry, our assessed valuation is fairly good. So our Prop C money we don't get a whole lot of it.
I thought it was based on how much everybody lost.
Yeah, it really is based on that, but how much we get out of it is based on our assessed valuation. And as you can tell, it jumps up and down by how much people gamble during how many lottery tickets are purchased.
Well, what district would be a low assessed?
Galena, Missouri,
Okay,
which is tiny and has no assessed valuation. They get a much higher Prop C than we do.
okay.
Now, it's not gonna be much more than we make,
Yeah.
but their percentage is gonna be higher.
Okay.
Little school, like Liberal, my hometown, Liberal,
That's
they,
awesome.
they get more property money than we do.
Okay.
Or they get a higher percentage, they
Yeah.
might not get as much money as we.
But the
as-
Hopefully it
percentage.
Right.
shows better.
Yeah. Classroom trust fund, again, just, it's basically money we receive from the state. And they break it down in 3 different ways, so. That is the,
All right.
financial report, and we're in good standing, everything. We're on budget, actually, we're projected right now, it's early, but we're projected to spend less this year than we did last year. But again, it's early, so,
We should spend less.
yeah, we should. We're budgeted to spend less, so hopefully we will.
Okay. We don't need to accept these reports or anything?
Nope.
Okay. Next is old business, the tire bid. We put it off till this time.
Yep. Really had, sent it out, we got 2 quotes, and Cross Midwest was the lower of the quote, and that's what Jason is recommending. And, let's see,
Is that who we used this year?
No.
No, we don't.
we used the tire centers, Springfield Tire Centers, but Cross Midwest, which is located in Joplin, had the lower bid.
And how much is it?
Well, it's just different
Yeah, it's
pricing for
different
different
pricing.
things.
It was-
So-
Tires, yeah.
Tire, yeah,
It's separated by tire, yeah.
well, it's separated by tire, and then it's separated by, the repairs, dismount,
Oh,
wheel
okay.
refurbishing and everything, so, really it comes down to the retread, this is retread and these are caps, so the difference in the tires. So, try to avoid the retread tires,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's,
You can't put them on a steering tire anyway.
yeah.
Right.
So Jason recommends, and the administrator recommends go with Cross Midwest.
Was there a big difference or,
Nah,
no, they're
it's-
close, but
it was
was
very, very
everything
close.
else, the tire repairs and all that stuff
Yeah.
lower too?
No, it's all about the exact, actually, the tire repair for Cross Midwest is a little bit higher, but then the quality of tire is lower,
Okay.
so.
Okay, I need a motion to accept Cross Midwest.
So moved. Sorry.
That's all right. We all say.
Any discussion? All in favor? 7. Tell Jason he can put tires on now.
All right, we're gonna get some put on there.
You sign a contract with them under those prices? Is that how that works? or-
One time.
Yeah,
Right, it's just a one-time bid.
Like the
It's
one-
just the
like a
year, it's a
yearly-
1-year bid.
yep,
Every
we
year.
rebid it,
Every
rebid it.
year,
Yeah.
So there's no contract, it's just a
It's just a
bid.
year bid
Yeah.
and they stick
Yep.
with that?
Okay, new business, we need to motion to accept the tax rate.
Okay.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that, on the tax rate? We already had a good discussion on it. All in favor? 7-0. The second reading of the 2017 B policy.
That was the wellness program, so we've read that twice, so it's up to you all.
We can vote to accept it, or we can,
Or you can wait until next month and then vote.
Might as well
I
go
mean,
ahead. I don't see
we're all
anything-
in agreement. Yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't
it's
see any
fine.
issues
Yeah.
last time.
No,
so-
I
And
think
we'll be
it's
getting
good.
more, so it'd be nice to get them
Right,
off the
get
it out
table
of
and
the
get the
way.
next ones
so I
on the
just need a
way.
motion to accept it then.
Move we accept.
We all do. Second.
All in favor? 7-0. Got that one off the table.
Yep, nice.
Um,
Get that updated and put on the website.
faculty directories. What is that?
I was gonna get one. It's the little booklets we pass out with
Okay.
names and numbers of all the
Oh, yeah.
faculty.
Yeah.
And you guys will all get one, and then all of our faculty, but we just need to approve that you guys are good with passing those out.
Let's do
Of
it.
course.
Need a motion?
Yeah, we use those. I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? 7-0. 2017-18 tuition rate.
The administration recommends a tuition of $62.41, which is what we are supposed to be funded at. That's the fully funding of the foundation formula, the state adequacy target. So if we are funded at that rate, then that's what you've done in the past is just fund whatever the state adequacy target was.
We're laughing.
Yeah, we tried that.
We
once.
tried to.
And it burned us.
Yeah.
Did it?
Oh, we were gonna pay
No,
Yeah,
no,
because
we-
Todd didn't know.
Yeah, we put a vote to make it $400. Just to get people to come to our school.
Right.
Okay.
Todd didn't know.
Cause
And he
I
was
said,
like,
I said if we,
he's like, yeah,
if
let's do it.
I said if they come to our school, do we get that state money?
No,
Right.
we learned our lesson.
Yeah, we learned
Didn't work.
the hard way.
And then he's like, hey, we might need it.
So we revised it.
Yeah.
But it was a good idea.
Yeah.
It was a good idea. I still think it was a
And he
good
caught it
idea.
early, so we were very well done.
Good.
That was, yeah.
So I need a motion to accept this tuition rate of $62.41.
So moved.
All in favor? So, the Beacon agreement.
Ms. Copeland.
Okay, last April, the 12 superintendents of the Beacon Consortium, as well as the 12 directors, sat around a table and revised the plan to add services, to add an autism school for Beacon. So now we've got the Beacon Behavior School that you guys all know about. Do you know about it? Okay, it's a behavior school in Joplin that, I will tell you, Carl Junction, Joplin, Pierce City, Webb City, Carthage, Monette, Sarcoxy, Westview, East Newton, Neosho, Seneca, and Wheaton are all a part of. So the superintendents have say-so, the special services directors are also on the board, and what it is a school that we send our students to that we've exhausted all of our resources. You know, we don't like to say that we have to do that, but it's so nice to have a place to be able to do that for the kids that are dangerous to themselves, others.
That's what I was gonna say. I want you to make sure and let him know why we would send them there.
Yeah, you know, and there's just some kids that really take up a lot of time that's affecting others' education. And so we're a part of that agreement. Well, Carthage was given a building, and so how nice would that be? So they put an autism school in, and so now we have behavior, Beacon Behavior and Beacon Autism. And so that's what is in this revised report. The only thing is that it's not going to affect our district, even though if you guys will allow us to be a part of it, because our kids go to the Neosho Autism School. It's the northern districts, and then the Neosho one is the southern districts, and it's so much easier for us to drive how many of our miles right there versus to head to Carthage.
How many students do we have going to Beacon currently?
One.
And how many?
I think that's a success story.
No, it is.
Yeah.
That's positive.
Yeah.
And how many do we have going to the autism?
3. And you know,
Do they go every day?
they are, it's good.
Is it every day?
It is.
Oh.
It is
It's a
their,
wonderful
it's their school, yeah. They are in contact with the Maddox Hill Center, which is the autism out of Crowder College. And they are, that is what they do, is ABA, it's discrete trial training, everything just what those kids need, and we're talking nonverbal. It's a great placement, but we actually had 2 until this school year. We added a 3rd one. We had 2 kids at Beacon and brought 1 back, and he is rocking it here. And so that's what we're supposed to do, is get our district to where we're ready for these kids, and then they come back.
So
So,
good.
but that's what the revision is to say, yes, we would like to still be a part of Beacon. Okay.
What is the cost to be a part of Beacon?
Oh, don't even ask that part. It's ridiculous.
It is unbelievable.
Let me tell you that I do pay for it by federal funds, if that helps you at all, it's paid for.
So what is it?
It depends on the year
Okay.
and how many kids they have. So what they do is they add up all of the cost and divide it on
Yeah,
a daily
per kid.
rate. And so, last year, I think that it was like with $40-some thousand for 3 kids, but then, of course, now we're down to 1. The autism school is just as expensive, but I have set it up to where federal funds pay for it. It kind of makes,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
makes us feel better.
Yep.
And it's the best place for the kids. I didn't answer your question. Daily rate, Sometimes it's 120 something per day, a bad year's 140 something per day. It just depends on how many they have, how much it costs divided, proportionate share kind of thing. It's ridiculous.
The good thing about the Beacon School having some experience with it, that those folks there are highly trained, and this is all they do. So
All
it
they
is a highly structured environment, and the whole goal of the kids who go to the Beacon instructors, their entire goal is to get those kids out of there. That's the entire goal. So they walk in, they have a behavior sheet. They walk in with they don't even start with a desk. They have to earn a chair, they have to earn a desk, they have to earn everything with their behavior. So,
Yeah, and really it's very cool because they actually come down and try to keep them out of their school, but when they know that, and East Newton, it's kind of interesting because East Newton's name is brought up at a lot of their meetings because they know we try hard. But then after they're back, they still come back and they help us transition. I mean,
Right.
it's not like they go away, and so.
it's,
And I think, not to be detrimental, but with those kids here, they're really taking away from the learning of the
Yes,
others.
they are.
Take a lot of time, a lot of
There's-
effort.
Not one kid we've ever sent that's not the case, exactly. I mean, it takes teachers, it takes paras, it takes the principals. Yeah, exactly.
And the students
The
are suffering
students are
for it.
suffering daily.
and the student that we end up sending is suffering as well.
Yes,
So
exactly, true.
It's a
true.
win-win
Because we-
for both sides.
Because we can't help them at that level. I mean, it's reached a point that you don't have time to help them at that.
And we,
level.
and as Shelley said, we don't really have the resources to
Yeah.
do it right.
Mhm.
We could devote the resources, take those resources and devote them there, but we still wouldn't have the program that Beacon has.
Yeah, and there's 12 different districts that agree. It's kind of cool that we feel guilty that we send a kid there, but so, everybody's taking advantage because that's exactly what they do.
You
is
said we had
behavior.
one come back from there,
We did, this school.
behavioral,
Oh,
and then it,
he's rocking it, yeah, absolutely. It's so cool. It's really neat to
Did
see
he come
them.
back this
But that
school
doesn't
year?
mean he
So he's,
can't go
it's
back
just,
to
they.
be-
Right,
He's there,
right.
but he could go back.
Right.
It's
But
still
he's-
gonna be okay.
Right.
see like it's helping when,
You
Yep,
you
and
never know.
if they digress a
never
little
know.
That's what I'm
bit,
saying.
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm saying, they can go back. If there's an
Yeah,
issue,
yeah.
they can go back. It's not like once they're out there, done.
Okay, we've done that too.
Yeah.
We've done that too.
you don't
But
have a
there-
lot of rebounding though, do you?
No, not a lot, but we have, but they know that if that's the case, then they give them a dose and then we try it again. And you know what, a lot of it is what the supports we put into place once they're back and once they've learned what they need to there, it usually is good. So, okay, here's the signature for that one, and then I'll give you, do you want me to
Yeah.
go ahead?
I had one more question.
Okay.
If we don't get charged for the additional money to go to the Beacon School for the autism and Carthage if we don't send anybody, is that how it works?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just if we send, then they put that daily
We
rate on.
would not send anybody because we're doing it in the ocean.
Right, but I'm just saying,
It is
we're
when
we're
there's not
adding.
like there's not like an initial fee.
Yeah,
or anything
we're,
we
that's what
have
I'm
to
asking,
pay
because
for,
we're
right.
adding that to their Beacon agreement, so I wanna make sure we're not getting charged if we're not using it.
Oh, right, it's only the ones that
That's a
send
good
the
question.
kids
I
to
didn't
Carthage.
understand that.
Yeah,
So the ones we send up there, they say they're only there half a year. So they're only paying per day, per half a year, or we're
yes,
paying?
but let me explain a little bit on top of that. When there's a transition period to come back, they're so involved that we are paying whenever they come down and they help us, but then we have IEP meetings all the time saying, okay, we're going to 3 days, okay, we're going to 4 days, okay, they're full-time, we stop paying. So yes,
Okay.
I mean, at the very end of it, it's really hard to say, but they're still involved so much.
Yeah.
But then, once they're here, they're still involved, but once they're full-time here, there's no more.
Okay, and then we don't pay that part, okay. Which I didn't care, just curiosity.
Yeah,
So-
it's just, it's a lot of money to
Mhm.
consider all of that.
So we will need a motion and a.
Yeah, motion to
Second.
accept the Beacon
Yep.
agreement.
So
Okay.
moved.
Second.
Right, so the next one is the local compliance plan.
We need to vote
Let's
first.
vote.
Okay.
All in favor?
Sorry.
7-0.
Okay.
Now you know.
I was given a time period. 11 minutes. Okay. All right, so the next one is local compliance plan. I have done this 3 times in the last, I don't know, it seems like the federal government makes changes, which makes the state makes changes, so therefore our local compliance plan makes changes. And so they've done it again. I believe Tammy sent it in a link because it's 47 pages long. It became effective on July 30th, so we're already doing it, but we have to go through the board by October 1st, and that's what we're doing. I went page by page by page, and it's stuff like they changed mental retardation to intellectual disability.